Ben Simmons, the guy that we have been disrespecting, or to better say, hating on for the last year, just got ranked as the 76th best player by ESPN going into the next season. And it did surprise me seeing that, because last season he was ranked as the 28th best player before the season even started. So from that alone, I was like, hold on, man. We really need to talk about Ben Simmons, because there is potential for greatness with Simmons on the Brooklyn Nets that a lot of people seem to not be realizing. So let's get right into the video. The Brooklyn Nets last season won against the Bucks, the 76ers, and the Miami Heat. And that was without Joe Harris on the team, who got hurt last season, and Ben Simmons, who didn't play at all last season. Yes, I understand that the Nets got swept by the Celtics in the last playoffs, but they actually had the most efficient offense, the second best net rating, and the best effective field goal percentage among the teams that played the Celtics in the playoffs. And that was against one of the best defenses the NBA has seen. Plus, KD shot 39% from the field during that series, and Kyrie Irving just averaged like 15 points per game during the last 3 games of that series. But it was obvious that defense was the problem for the Brooklyn Nets, as they had one of the worst defenses in the NBA last season. So going into the playoffs, it was no surprise that the Nets had a defensive rating of 119 against the Celtics. But the main reason for that was that the Nets did not have enough size in the perimeter. The person that was guarding Tatum was Bruce Brown, the main defender on Tatum. He's 6'4", while Tatum is 6'8". That's easy money for Tatum, you know what I mean? And then it was the same thing with Jaylen Brown. The two people that were guarding him the most, it was either Kyrie Irving, who's 6'2", and Seth Curry, who's 6'2", while Brown is 6'6". So again, that's easy money for Jaylen Brown. But that's where Ben Simmons comes in, because this guy is 6'11". Oh, by the way, the Nets will be much bigger in the perimeter next season. Joe Harris coming back from an injury, who's 6'6", right? Then the Brooklyn Nets added Royce O'Neal, who's also 6'6", and they also signed TJ Warren, who's 6'8". He plays at forward though, but that's not what we're looking at. We're looking at the size. All of those 3 players are not crazy great defenders, but just from their size alone, they will give more trouble to the likes of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, instead of like players who are 6'4", 6'2", guarding them, you know what I mean? But still, the key will be Ben Simmons because of his size and athleticism. Ben Simmons is a defensive force that like 2 years ago was in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year with Giannis Antetokounmpo and Rudy Gobert. And this guy, he can terrorize like the ball handlers like Trae Young, or the point guards. You know, he plays the point guard position. He be terrorizing them when he wants to. If he gets aggressive, yo, those players are they get scared. They don't know what to do and turn the ball over a lot. And I can't forget that because of Simmons' size, he can actually defend 1 through 5. Not every NBA player can do that in the NBA right now. That's why when we look at his accolades, he has made the NBA All-Defensive First Team, not the second team, but the first team twice. And he was the NBA steal leader back in 2020. Plus, I can't forget, this guy was an All-Star for 3 consecutive seasons. My goodness, and he gets so much hate. This guy has been in the NBA, I think, for like 6 seasons, and he's been healthy for 4 seasons. And in those 4 seasons, he did those things, right? That means Ben Simmons, when healthy, when he can play a lot of games and healthy, he's one of the best players in the NBA. I think with him healthy, the 76ers never missed the playoffs and actually made it always past the second round. I do have to say Ben Simmons has one weakness, something that hopefully I remember this correctly, but he always has trouble defending those shifty point guards like Kyrie, Stephen Curry, those who have great handles. But he actually doesn't need to worry about Kyrie Irving no more because they're on the same team. So that's one player less that he needs to worry about. Offensively, Ben Simmons is very gifted, bro. He's an elite passer with great vision, and he has the strength to throw pinpoint passes across the floor with one hand. It's incredible. And when he's pushing the ball up on the floor, he always seems to find the right teammate at the right time. Like, he makes the right pass always. So now I'm imagining, like, bro, imagine KD and Irving receiving passes from Ben Simmons. The efficiency from those two players are gonna go up. So if Ben Simmons was playing in the series against the Celtics last season, KD would have shot minimum like 45% from the field, and Irving would have been averaging 20 plus points per game. And we will be having a completely different conversation today about the Nets and the Celtics. On the offensive side of the game though, he has one problem. By that I mean, we know Simmons doesn't like to take a lot of shots outside the paint, and his free throw percentage is horrendous. You guys all remember that we got the memes going on for like the last whole year, the Hawks series. By the end of that series, he didn't even want to take shots in the paint no more. He was passing them out because he was afraid to get to the free throw line. If I remember correctly, he shot like 40% from the free throw line during that series. So a guard who can't, or let's say won't shoot, especially when combined with a big man who's most effective, let's say in the inside, that would be a spacing problem. Back on his 76ers days, when Simmons didn't have the ball, he was often positioned at the block instead of on the perimeter. Doing so allowed his defender to help in the paint when a teammate got beaten off the dribble. However, there are ways to avoid that from happening though for Simmons and the Brooklyn Nets, and I came up with two solutions. One, Simmons' size makes him a good screener on dribble handoff. And when he gives the ball to the receiver, right, Simmons' defender is not going to contest the shot most of the times because he's in the paint trying to give Simmons the space, you know what I mean? So the guy that's receiving it can shoot that all day, every day, especially let's say Kyrie, KD, or Seth Curry, or even Joe Harris. Which brings me to my second point. All you gotta do so that that doesn't happen, that you have to, when Simmons is on the block and the defense, you know, doesn't pay him attention, the team, the Brooklyn Nets, can just play 4 shooters at the same time, and they have the capacity for that. Imagine this lineup here: Simmons at the 5, KD at the 4, Joe Harris at the 3, Seth Curry at the 2, and Irving at the 1. You can switch that up, or you can even go Kyrie at the 1, Patty Mills at the 2, Patty Mills at the 1, Kyrie at the 2. Bro, you have 4 great shooters, great 3-point shooters, mid-range shooters around Ben Simmons. You're going to tell me offensively that team is not going to give other teams nightmares before they play them? I believe so. However, I do have to say defensively, this team won't be that great. Offensively, they're going to be amazing, right? The Brooklyn Nets, they're going to be amazing offensively. But defensively, they're going to be better than last season, that's for sure. You know, I said before they had the 20th best defense in the NBA, which is the 10th worst, you know. I will say they're going to be like an average defense team going into next season. Probably like around the 10 to 15 best defense. And if you have one of the top 5 offenses, you're going to be winning a lot of games. If they stay healthy, we cannot forget about that. I do have to say, a healthy KD, right, and a healthy Irving, automatically, that gives the Brooklyn Nets or any team like 45 games that they are going to win. And when you win like about 45 games, either in the Eastern Conference or the Western Conference, you're gonna be fighting for 6 to 8 spot. You know what I mean? You can even make it all the way to the 4th spot, like the 4th seed. So now you add Ben Simmons to that team, you're going to be fighting for a top 3 seed, East or West. Because Ben Simmons is going to make them better defensively. He's going to make them better on a fast break. He's going to make them more efficient on the offensive side of the game. Like, Ben Simmons is going to help this team a lot. But people need to put some respect on this team because ESPN ranked them. I mean, the NBA made an all-season power ranking. And they actually ranked the Nets, I think, as the 7th best team in the Eastern Conference. And if I remember correctly, the Raptors were ahead of them. I wouldn't put the Raptors ahead of the Brooklyn Nets. I think the Chicago Bulls were ahead of them too. I wouldn't put the Chicago Bulls ahead of the Raptors. I mean, I will put the Chicago Bulls ahead of the Raptors, but not ahead of the Brooklyn Nets. You know what I mean? So people need to put some respect on the Brooklyn Nets because they're going to be really dangerous, bro. Like, to me, like I said, they are one of the top three teams in the Eastern Conference. And in the NBA, a top 6 team in the NBA. Like, they are contenders. Like contenders, they are right there with the best of the best going into the next season. So yeah, man, that brings me to the end. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on the Brooklyn Nets. Do you think they are actually contenders or not? Let me know what you guys think. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate you. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss more content like this. And hopefully, I'll see you all in the next one.